Hi everybody, and welcome to Word Affinity, a podcast which has everything to do with words. I'm Sarah Bisht, and today I want to tell you a tale. It is so magical, so wondrous that it will sweep you off to a whole another world. It will tell you how to travel the world with a magic scroll. It will tell you how to find your destiny, how to live your passion, and how to be brave. This tale is about a knight who has no name. The Might of Music, a knight with no named tale. Once upon a time, there lived a stout and stalwart knight of 21 with a heart of gold. He went to find his fortune in the dark, dark world. One day, when he was riding through the bazaar of Azraluke, he saw an old man with a hunch on his back, trying to sell an ancient-looking scroll and a feather pen studded with small stones that sparkled like diamonds. The knight jumped off his horse and strode in front of the man. The man looked up and the knight said, "Old sir, may I ask you why are you selling this woebegone scroll?" The hunchbacked man smiled and said, "You are a young and innocent knight. You won't understand. There are evils in this world that your sword couldn't match." The knight didn't understand what the old man was trying to say and asked the man to speak in a simple tongue. The man said, "This scroll has such magical power that you wouldn't even dream of. The power of this scroll can beat the most powerful and intelligent person in the world." The knight, even though he wasn't a man interested in gaining power, felt a strange desire to acquire the scroll. The hunchbacked man told the youth, "My dear fellow, I'm more than happy to sell this scroll. I'm a philosopher. I have no desire of becoming powerful. But remember, this scroll has power so much that it will give you wealth beyond compare. It will give you strength to beat on men. It will give you the life of a king, not a king of a hidden kingdom, but the king of the world. It will give you brawn. It will give you brain. It will give you everything you want, even the right to deploy and destroy. But one thing it can't give you, and that is joy." And then the old man gave the scroll and the pen to the knight and went whistling away. The knight shouted, "Sir, how do I use it? Aren't you taking your fee?" The man just smiled and waved to him. So the knight continued his journey, puzzled at the old philosopher and the strange scroll. He reached an old ruined castle in the middle of a vast ground that hadn't a sign of life growing. As he got near to the castle, he heard an enticing voice coming from the ruins. He made his way through the debris and reached the heart of the castle. Sitting on a colossal rock was a boy who looked like he was of 13 years. He was playing a violin and singing. This was his song. "I will tell you my story, it is but of sadness. Joy and glee are something I never knew. Misery has always been my companion. The bird of euphoria has flew. Now I'm drifting along a stream, neglected, alone, not kith or kin with me." The knight was a bit stupefied by the boy's voice and the sadness with which he sang. The simpleness of the song touched his heart. He crept towards the boy and put a hand on his shoulder. The boy leaped up and said, "Sir, I beg your pardon. I hope that I didn't disturb you with my awful singing." The knight chuckled and said, "My dearest boy, not at all. You beguiled me with your enchanting voice and playing. May I know your name and where do you live?" The boy said, "My name is Orlando and I live here in these ruins." "Why? You wouldn't be older than 14. Don't you have a parent or guardian with whom you should live with?" said the knight, astonished. The boy shook his head mournfully and said, "Alas, sir, no. I lived in the village of Revonix, in a cozy little house alone with my sister, but the villagers drove me out." "Why?" asked the knight. The boy replied, Because I played a note which is forbidden in the villager's religion, but is really essential in some of my favorite songs to play. I didn't know that the note was forbidden. I was never told. When I asked when they were about to kick me out, the head of the village said, "You scurry wag, you dare ask why? Well, I won't tell you. You will live your life repenting for the unforgivable mistake you made." The knight swelled with anger and said, "That might be the rashest thing a head could do. A head should always be reasonable and just. He should tell why he is punishing someone. I will go and talk to these villagers and their stupid head." The knight quickly jumped on his horse, whose name was Zyla, who was given to him by his father when he was a boy of 16 and Zyla was 2 months old, and rode off to Remonix. He entered a home and asked the people there about their head's house and about Orlando. The women in the house said, "The head lives at the foot of that hill in a blue cottage. I won't tell you anything about that boy, because talking about him is an offense in our village." The knight thanked the women and rode off to the head's house. He knocked at the door and a woman with a sour-looking face answered. She took our knight to the head of the village. He was a colossal man with a pot belly and piggy eyes. He boomed in his pompous voice, "Well, well, well, who do we have here? A knight? What can I do for you, sir?" The knight said, "Good sir, I am here to talk about someone who I recently met. I believe he is from your good village. His name is Orlando." As soon as the headman heard the name, his chest swelled up till he resembled a bullfrog. He boomed, "I told that son of a biscuit eater to leave me village and go very far away. He is an offender of the gods. He should be flogged." The man's language suggested that he might have been a buccaneer in his past or had some friends who were one. The knight frowned and asked, "It doesn't seem that the boy could be vile and religious. On the other hand, he seemed to have a beautiful upbringing and was very polite. What has he done that offended your God?" The headman said, "He played a note," as if that explained everything. The knight stood perplexed, so the headman explained, "Looky here, mister, what I'm telling you is a big secret of this village. It is so confidential that the people of this village also don't know. But ye seem a chivalrous man. I will tell ye, that son of a biscuit eater plays a note. Now this note is a bad note. The gods don't like it, and it's written in our holy book that the note is unholy. We are a swashbuckler to play it in front of everyone." Our knight laughed and said, "My good sir, such a small reason to take such a big action, that too against a little child. I'm amazed at your rashness. The gods always said that the children are avatars of themselves. No note is unholy or bad. Music is said to be the language of this universe. It can name the unnameable and speak to the unknowable. If God is the universe, then why would he be angry with the sound of his own language?" The man grumbled and answered, "I don't know about all this Belge. I just follow what's written in the book." The knight knew that he couldn't get any sense in this affected headman that day. He bade farewell and went away. The knight reached the ruins and sat near Orlando, pondering over something. Orlando asked timidly, "Sir Knight, I'm awfully sorry to disturb you, but may I ask what you're thinking of?" The knight replied, "What else, my dear boy, but thinking about how to talk some sense into that pompous headman of your village. There must be some way to make him understand." "Aha! That must be it!" The boy, shocked by the knight's exclamation, asked, "Sir, did you get an idea to convince the head? May I know about it?" The knight grinned and said, "No need to worry your little self. By tomorrow, you will be at your little cottage, rejoicing with your sister." Saying this, the knight rode off into the darkness of the night. So that was all for today. If you want to hear what happened with the knight with no name and Orlando, please stay tuned to this podcast. Thank you for listening to this episode. Please rate and review us on Apple Podcasts and subscribe to us wherever you get your podcasts. Thank you for listening. Goodbye.